I've always been a painter, however thinking like a sculptor in different sculpture terms, with filling in the different spaces with different shapes and forms and colors. They've always been my prime interests. And especially for storytelling, or in my case, the fairy tailing, that's where the drawing and painting take a lead. And my work is usually a constant dialogue between the sculptural elements of ceramics or different materials and paintings, seen as all together as an installation. I feel that drawing overall is so intimate and so honest, and it really helps to bring out the personal stories and different associations and ideas from the brain, from the system, straight out to the paper. In my case, when I work from imagination of creating and telling the stories of fairy tales, the sense of privacy is really important to make the work personal. Usually in a studio, I tend to have a notebook, well, actually many different ones that I tend to lose sometimes, somewhere in a studio all the time. And I fill them in with simple drawings first, something impulsive, something emblematic, something that I need to set free out of my system. Well, paper in that sense is a very forgiving material, and it makes it very easy to splash out the immediate ideas straight from your brain onto the paper. Especially it works with the shows where I make a consistent image or consistent elements that hold the show together. The drawings, they do really reflect onto the cartoon mechanics and somehow move it within the right direction. This show was the next one I did after the Amanita Muscaria show that I did at Art Antwerp with the Broad Gallery. And it felt quite natural to continue it in a way of another storytelling, another dreamlike mirage. I've always wanted to make a full complete series on nocturnal subterranean embodiment of emotions or ideas. I just wanted to make the show very reflective to my thoughts in a sense of what was going on in my mind. However, through the certain veil, I would say, and in a very hyperbolized reality. I just kept thinking of the Italian medieval frescoes on which I was looking at whilst getting ready for the show, and the items that I have from my childhood nostalgia and the fairy tales that were so mysterious to me, such as Alice in Wonderland. Especially I was looking at the different emblematic elements, such as Cheshire Cat and his smile and the way it was portrayed throughout the whole series of works. The show at the Foundry SEOUL is called Nocturnal, and it's somewhat divided by the different stories, the underwater world chapter as well as the Twilight anti-gravity chapter. The massive mural in the void makes all the stories of all paintings in the show interconnected. It's my version of Garden of Earthen Delights by Bosch. I would say that I'm drawn to fragile and complex things, naturally. Complex narratives, different things. Probably books that I read all the time in the studio and when I'm at home. For that show, it was really helpful that I read the book The King Solomon's Ring by Austrian scientist Konrad Lorenz. It was generally about Seal of Solomon, the ring that gave King Solomon the power to speak to animals. It's quite fascinating. It always keeps me entertained, and it sort of really helps the overall flow of the show and the works, and it extends. and expands the storyline to any possible way. It was always helpful when I was trying to get my works playing a certain animated part of all the story to make a cartoon out of all the images held together. It's also really helpful with the colors, and that's very important for me when I make a series of works. The color, it holds together the works and different emblems on them. I generally follow usual studio routine with making sketches in the first part of the day and painting till late at night. The only thing that stays consistent every day is the daily 3 cups of coffee. I have things in my studio that keep me sane and keep me comfortable. For me, it's quite important to feel the comfort zone when I stay in this space most of my time. I feel that ceramics also help me to drift the focus from paintings and bring a new level of tactility into the painting practice as well. At the moment, I am obsessed with the geometry and simplicity of the 4IM series of ceramic works of Yoshimoto Nara, of mainly black and white ceramic vessels painted with really strong black glaze, and it's just amazing to see the duality on each of the side, and as well as the repetitive element that I've been always obsessed with, I would say. It is very different from my other all-the-time obsession of the paintings by Vanessa Bell from Bloomsbury Group. Favorite fairy tale, most probably it's The Blue Beard, and most of the Grimm brothers fairy tales, to be honest. Zodiac and horoscopes is the Scorpio, for the reason of that all of my life I'm surrounded with Scorpios and I'm familiar with them. The favorite goddess, it's Gaia, of course, and it's quite obvious to indicate that when you look at my works. I hope that the viewers would dive into the different stories of the Nocturnal Show.